All right, it says use the graph to determine the function's domain, the function's range, the x-intercepts, if any, the y-intercept, if any, and the function values f of -5 and f of 0. All right, so domain, that means we're going to look along the x-axis to determine if there's a start, stop, or we have endpoints. We're going to identify that. So domain, let's look along the x-axis. Here's the x-axis right here. So here's my graph. Look where I'm pointing to. Go along the x-axis. Where does it go? We have our domain is from -infinity to +infinity. Our range, here we go. Look at our range. Look along the y-axis. Y-axis, the y. If you notice, the graph is facing downward, but then it stops at a certain place on the y-axis at 1. So we would say -infinity, comma, 1, close. Do we have an x-intercept? Meaning does this graph lie on the x-axis? No, we do not. The y-intercept. Is there a point that lies on the y-axis? Yes, right here. 0, 5, not just 5, but -5. So the y-intercept is at 0, -5. The next one says find f of -5. We have an x value of -5. What will be y? So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to count over on the x-axis 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's -5. And then where does this graph lie at -5? Here we go here, which is at -2. And then f of 0, we've already done that one, which is -5. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's look at the next example. Same questions apply. All right, so we want to find the domain. Now this is really good because we don't have arrows at the end. We have an open segment and we have a closed segment. Okay, open circle, closed circle. As we go along the x-axis, where does on the x-axis, I'm not looking at y, the y-axis, but as we look along the x-axis, where does this graph start at? What is this number here? That's 0. And at 0, we have a closed circle. So we have an open bracket, comma, and then it starts at 0. Let me put 0 here. Then we have 1, 2, 3. What's that? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Along the x-axis, it ends at 4. Okay. And this is going to be a parenthesis. Your range. Look along the y-axis. Let's go along the y-axis. Where does this start at? -9. And we're using a bracket because it's a closed circle. And then we move up, 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 up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It ends at on the y-axis at 7 with a closed parenthesis. Next, what is the x-intercept? Is there an x-intercept? Yes, right here at 3, 0, right as an ordered pair. Is there a y-intercept? Yes, at or the y-axis is at 0, -9. And then the last question says find f of 2. 2 being the x value, we want to find the um, y value. So here we go. Let's go over 2 units. 1, 2. So go down. This is where the point lies at -5. And there we go.